Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eddie Marcus again, and I want to thank you so very much for stopping on this post. This is the day after that Super Tuesday and that Democratic primary seeking for the presidency of the United States. Well, the people have spoken. And isn't it amazing? You have a president that is referred to as the most dangerous president that this nation has ever experienced. The most dangerous, who has all kinds of support from the Congress, from the Supreme Court, from the system, as it were. Anybody who got common sense realize that this is not just some happenstance, that this is all part of a plan. Nevertheless, we have that one lifted up as a representative of nothing but bona fide evil, and he's in the main office. And then you have the rest of the people who don't support this one coming together, trying to hope that they can inspire enough people that's outside of that administration's concern and support to come together and in numbers just defeat this most evil one, and maybe in a sense back up a little bit or go a little forward, however you want to look at it, but allow the majority of the individual citizens that are not so evil to stand up and speak out and stop this from going any further and give the power back to the same group that allowed for the creation and the birth of this presidency that we now have. And I say that at a moment in time, ladies and gentlemen, when we also have before us an opportunity to really make the greatest move towards that which we hold as dear. Now that opportunity is open to us because we see how far evil can go up to this point. Now it can go further, but we see where it is right now. And if all we want to do is just back a little bit to put ourselves in a position to be right back here again in another 4 years, come on, my friends, my brothers and my sisters. I have spent the past 40 years doing a work that I have been given. The last 36 more specifically, directly involved. You know, I say to those of you who are listening to me today, it is time we grow up. You have heard it said that when a child does something, regardless of how it comes up, praise the child, lift the child up, make the child feel positive and to go forward, encourage him. But I say there's nothing wrong with that as long as you tell the child the truth. Don't lie to the child. If a child does something that's not very good, then praise him if you can, any way you can, but don't make that child think that what the act that he took was any good. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it's time that we as a nation of people face the facts. I have put myself, based upon my calling, in a position to tell the truth to you about life. I have not been paid any kind of cash for this. This is the way of the world. Fortunate enough for me, I have a wife who does not actually conform to the basic principles that I share with you that I have conformed to. And this is good, and I'll tell you why a little bit later on. And the purpose, my friend, is to know the truth So when I can't bring in an income to add to my family income, which now basically allows us to meet the bare minimums. So where there's income that's needed to keep the house standardized, to keep it looking nice and stop falling apart, that income is not there, but it's needed. I want it. When it comes to the kids going to college, that income is not there. I want my kids to go to college, but the income is not there because I'm not participating in the process. What I am doing, ladies and gentlemen, is telling you that we are living in a prison. We are living in a dungeon. We are living in a den. We are living in a hell because all of the pain and suffering that we as people endure. And I realize that all of us were born into this kind of stuff, and we've been educated based upon our little standards or wherever we're associated. We believe in that, and all of this is the maintenance of this hell that we go through every day. My job has been to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that there is another power. Now, every last one of you know you don't like the hell that you're living in. I don't care how much good times you might be having, how much you might be able to go on a vacation. You know there are things that you have to experience every day that you wish you did not have to deal with. And you have learned to always blame somebody else. Always blame somebody else. That's okay if you want to always blame somebody else. But what are you doing together to fix it? And not to just fix it where it creates an additional form of pain and suffering, or throwing pain and suffering someplace else like affirmative action. Fix the thing so it works for everybody. And you cannot do that with the mindset that you have. Somebody got to tell you something. Somebody got to tell you that this hatred and this lying and this cheating and all that stuff is a response to the program that you have been infested with through the system that you're living in every day. I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that there's another power that made this earth. Didn't no man make it. You know that. You know that even you being on this earth, man is just playing a part in the process. He didn't create it. So you know there's another power. You see things that work harmoniously all the time. You even see some geniuses come on the scene every now and then. You should ask the question, what is it with us as a human being? What is it? We, the people of the United States of America, why do we have to go through this kind of stuff that we go through all the time? Racism. It's because we don't know any better. Then we think about our international associations. Why is it that we always fussing and biting? And how come people everywhere are suffering? Why don't we ask ourselves, how do we fix that? Well, see, ladies and gentlemen, it's been my job to tell you that the reason that you don't try to fix it is because you're living in a system that promotes not fixing it. It's standing up on the backs of it being broken just like it is. But the power that is responsible for all creation have us here for a purpose. Now, when I can't send my kids to college, I know the problem. I feel it. And I don't care how good those of you who don't want to vote for Trump, who want to go on as Democrats and continue to allow kids, denying them their education that God has provided for them as an inalienable right. I want you to know, what makes you think you're so much better than Trump? Those of you, my friends, in this different political persuasion that's so excited about defeating Trump. When kids are out here having to do all kinds of things that, I don't want to go through it right now. But when they're going through it and you pointing fingers, you know darn well you're not going to fix anything. And those of you who call yourselves Christians, I want you to know what a Christian is. A Christian is one in study, going through the rigmarole, listening to teachings, reading the Bible, going through concordances, trying to understand, search it. That's a Christian. But you aren't born again yet, because when you are born again, you have come into the knowledge and you have made a choice that is God's way. God's way. Why? Because God's way is a loving kind of way. And what kind of way is that? It is for everybody. You can see. And it is your duty, my friends. I'm speaking to those of you who are not children of God. It is their duty, it's our duty, to make sure that we stand for nothing else. We are the doctors. We are the doctors now of our society that we live in. Pain and suffering is a cancer that we must eliminate, not by the means that we are familiar with in the past, but brand new means of satisfying people, making people part of the project, making them receptive and grateful participant in the process. Because the peace and prosperity and the joy that we desire rest in our ability to apply ourselves in a different kind of way, in a superior kind of way. Now, put it this way. Now, Sanders is more towards eliminating pain and suffering out of our society than any of the other candidates that I hear talking. The problem is the same as everybody's problem. They're dependent on Congress and their ability to do this or to do that. But all you need is another kind of Mitch McConnell, a stumbling block. And I don't care what your intentions are. The way the system is designed, you're not going to do anything. You're going to be just another president who thought and hoped, but the people are still going to be living in pain and in suffering. Can't go to college. Can't have decent housing. The infrastructure all falling apart. The streets need pavement, but they got potholes all in them. Buildings falling down. Oh my God, cities are just, come on. Let me tell you something. Now, Sanders doesn't know that what he's talking about is just half-stepping. But even it will require you, ladies and gentlemen. It will require you standing up. It will require that you say education for everybody. It will require that you say health care for everybody. It will require that you wake up and say the way we can do these things is by putting all of these folks around here who are on welfare, putting all of these folks around here who are jobless, put them to work in a career of their own choosing, and give them the incentive to work like it is the greatest thing, because by working they got carte blanche to use it anywhere with unlimited amounts on it. And I guarantee you this nation will change. Now what's wrong with that? What's wrong with it? Tell me what's wrong with it. Well, as a child of God, it's my duty to tell you, offer this to you again. Even though I know you can't see it, you don't understand it. But it is available to you. So I just want to throw that out there on you this morning as this post, and I hope it has some purpose that benefits us all. I want to thank you once again. This is Eddie Marcus. Goodbye.